Hello, and welcome to episode 58 of Rivers Arcade Review. My name is Ed. This channel is dedicated to the coin-operated video games of yesteryear. Today I'll be reviewing a favorite of mine, Gyruss. Gyruss was released in 1983 by Konami and licensed to Century. My first time playing this game was at Fun Times Square in Hometown, Illinois. Gyruss is a third-person space shooter game in which you control your ship with an 8-way circular joystick and a fire button. You need to shoot your way through a series of alien ships as you warp through the solar system in order to make it to planet Earth. This game has been unofficially referred to as a combination of Galaga and Tempest. The first thing noticeable about this game is the soundtrack. This game plays Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor during both the attract mode as well as during gameplay. Having sound during the attract mode was new at the time, and having a soundtrack playing during attract mode was unheard of at the time. Another thing new was the movement of your ship. You are able to move in a circular pattern around the playfield instead of just left and right. The game begins with your ship forming at the bottom of the screen. You will receive a message stating 2 warps to Neptune, then a series of orange spots will converge and form your ship. At this point, the enemies will begin swarming onto the playfield. They will enter in 4 attack patterns before forming into the center. The first 2 swarms will have 10 blue ships each, the third will have 8 blue ships, and the fourth will have 8 red ships. After the initial swarm, they will form in the center in a clock pattern 3 deep. In later levels, they will still attack in 4 waves, but not always in the same 10-10-8-8 pattern. If you are able to shoot all the enemies during each swarm, you will earn bonus points. The first time you destroy all the enemies, you will earn 1,000 points, and each extra time you destroy all the ships, the bonus will increase 500 more points. If you destroy enough ships during the initial attack, 10 more reinforcement ships will appear and join the fleet, similar to Galaga 3. During the first stage, the enemies may not fire during the initial swarm, but this is based on management settings, but they will begin firing starting on stage 2. One trick you can use is when the enemy ships start to fly in, they will fly safely under your ship so you can position your ship in their initial path and you can shoot them safely. On later levels, the enemy ships will dive bomb your ship after the initial attack, and hitting a ship during these attacks will destroy your ship, losing a life. If the enemy leaves the screen during the initial attack, it will reappear in the center formation. The game has similar gameplay to Tempest, where you rotate around the playfield, all while the enemies fly outward from the center of the screen trying to destroy your ship. The aliens will shoot and dive bomb your ship in an attempt to destroy you. You are able to destroy the enemies by shooting them both in the center formation as well as when they are charging at you. You will earn 50 points for destroying a ship in formation and 100 points for shooting it when it's flying at you. In addition to the enemy ships, there will be indestructible asteroids that must be avoided. There are also bell-shaped ships that attack in pairs. These ships will fire a force field back and forth that will destroy you if you contacted it. Shooting one will disable the force field, and shooting the second one will earn you 100 points. In addition to the enemies, there will be 3 satellites that will form after all the enemies have appeared. These satellites will line up in a slightly curved line. The 2 outer satellites are triangular shaped with a blue ball on each end, and the third is an orange sphere. Shooting the sphere will send 2 small circles around the edge of the playfield. These are not harmful, but once the second one hits your ship, you will earn double firepower. If you lose a life and there are more than 3 enemies left, the satellites will reappear, but if there are too few, you must wait until the next stage. If you have double firepower when the satellites appear, the orange sphere will be replaced by another blue triangular one. You will earn 500 points for the orange satellite, 1,000 points for the first blue satellite, 1,500 for the second blue satellite, and 2,000 points for the third blue satellite. After you destroy all the enemies, you will warp toward the center of the screen and you will reappear on the next level just like the game beginning, but now you'll be 1 warp closer to the next planet. At the beginning of each level, you'll be shown a message of how many warps you need to arrive at the next planet. Once you clear all the enemies on the level that is 1 warp from the planet, you will warp toward the center of the screen, which will have the planet, and once you reach that planet, you will have a chance stage. The chance stage is a bonus stage in which you need to shoot as many ships as you can. Similarly to the start of each level, there will be 4 swarms of enemies. Each swarm will have 10 ships. The ships will fly in a pattern around the playfield and then exit for good. The ships will be a mixture of different satellites along with the traditional ships. You will receive 100 points for each enemy destroyed and a 1,000 point bonus for destroying all 10 ships, although there will be no increased value for destroying 2 or more swarms. You will earn a higher bonus the more planets you visit, up to a 3,000 point bonus. After all 40 ships are either shot or leave the field, you will earn a bonus of an additional 100 points for every ship destroyed, although you will earn a 10,000 point bonus if you destroy all 40. Although the ships look like they may collide with your ship, they will pass safely through you. Since the game begins starting 2 warps to Neptune, I believe you begin at Pluto and try to get to Earth. The order of the planets goes Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, and then Earth. Once you reach Earth, you will warp back in an attempt to warp to Neptune, but at a harder skill level. You will never have a chance stage on Mercury, Venus, or Pluto. I really found this game to be really fun and challenging, and I highly recommend playing it, especially if you can find it in an arcade, since the emulators don't do the game justice, but playing on an emulator is still fun. I enjoyed this game a bit more than Donkey Kong Jr., but not quite as much as Mario Brothers, so Gyruss warps its way into 8th overall. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any games you'd like me to review, please leave a message below or on my homepage. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned to new videos every Wednesday and Sunday.